Tomodachi, that's exactly the kind of...
Nice.
Hey everybody, welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live cast brought to you by frontlinegaming.org, where you can get your tabletop gaming goodies all the days of the weeks, months, years, almost coming up on a decade.
And quarters.
Ooh, pretty cool. Yeah, so thanks for joining us. A little late today. We had a technical glitch. The streaming laptop blue screened. Uh-oh. But Mariana went in and she did some hacker stuff with a ball mouse.
Yeah, she hacked it.
She hacked it. She I don't know, pierced the cloud.
Yeah.
She did something. She made it work. That's what she gets paid for. So
That's right. She just did her job, but we're very proud.
yeah, so thank you very much to Mariana for getting it fixed. And we're only about 10 minutes late to the live show. For those of you joining us via the live show, welcome. Always fun to have a chat with you in the chat. And for those of you who are listening to it after the fact, whether it be on Spotify or iTunes or YouTube, thanks for listening. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave us a comment if it's something that won't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, only if it's a nice comment.
I'm a very fragile person.
We only accept nice comments.
Tomodachi Express likes the shirt. Thanks. This is a oldie but a goldie. I haven't broken this one out in a while.
Oldie but a goldie?
Yeah.
I think it's oldie but a goodie, Reese.
It's olden but golden.
No, that's not the thing.
Okay. Well, hey. All right, so let's dive in and talk about what's new this week in the tabletop gaming hobby.
Woo.
First of all, big news. FLG mats, we are back in action, baby. We got 44x60s, 6x4s, 3x6s, 3x3s, 30x22, and the new
24x14s and desk mats.
and the new size.
No, it's not in there yet.
Oh, okay. That's
Nice try,
next
though.
week. That's next week. So we got the mats back in stock. I know a lot of people were waiting for it. We had sold out, and we've been out of stock for about a month, which is a bummer. But the warehouse is restocked, ready to rock. Hopefully, we'll never stock out again.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they turned out to be more popular than expected, which in hindsight seems stupid. But you know, hey, Frankie and I do what we can.
That's right.
And everybody in the chat who's saying that they ordered a 44x60 or 4x6 whatever mat, thank you very much for the business. Thank you for your patience. Hopefully that won't happen again. And then next week we're gonna have the brand new combat patrol size mat, which is it's 44x30. What is it?
44x30.
44x30.
Yep.
So and those will be available next week, along with the conversion kit to make 6x4s into 44x60s.
Yep, exactly.
Woo!
What?
Oh man. Exciting stuff. But that's not all on the mat front.
Whoa.
We have a brand new FLG mat, and in the fine tradition of Frontline Gaming having the most boring names for their products possible, we have a new mat. It's not Swamp 1, it's Swamp 2, the dose.
What?
So jokes aside, a really, really cool mat. Obviously, it evokes a swamp theme.
No way.
And this one, it's different from
Very
Swamp
descriptive.
1. I think it's a little bit more marshy, would be the way I would describe it.
More
So,
green.
Yeah.
Like a lighter green.
Yeah, the current Swamp mat's like darker with some yellow tones. And this one's a little bit more vibrant. Very cool mat. It's available at 20% off during the release period, which will be the next 2 weeks. So if you do want to grab one of those, jump in, give it a look. And if it tickles your fancy, mate, pick one up at a discount.
For our next mat, we're just gonna name it after its colors.
Ooh, the green,
It's
yellow
a
grass
blue,
mat.
yellow, green mat. Game mat 1. I like it.
Rob says we're stocked, cocked, and ready to rock. That is accurate.
True.
It's funny because Mariana and Frankie always have a debate. Mariana wants to name it like Fairy Winkle Fantasy World of Happiness and Joy. Frankie's like Swamp 2.
I won on this one.
But Mariana's gotten her way a couple times.
Yeah.
Anything that has like a more fun, lively name, that's probably Mariana.
Yes. I agree.
So jump in there, grab a mat if you've been waiting. We are getting a really high volume of orders, so just want to let everybody know it might take. There might be some very, very slight delays, like maybe a day or two delays. We normally ship within 48 hours with the mats, but because we're getting a high volume right now, there may be an extra day added on. So just so that everybody we can be upfront about that.
Yeah, just so you're prepared.
Yeah. Hopefully not. We're going to be working overtime to avoid that, but we just want to be upfront about it. All right. There's some new products coming out from Games Workshop. It's been previewed. Warhammer 40K Crusade Beyond the Veil.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Excited about that one?
Yeah, of course. It's and then Crusade obviously is the narrative way to play the game, so it's super exciting. I think it's been it's been the most talked about thing of 9th edition is Crusade.
I think it's super exciting.
Yeah.
I know a few of my friends are actually playing in a narrative campaign right now, and they're really liking it. So.
Yeah, dude, narrative campaigns was awesome, man. Like, that's what I did before I went to tournaments, and I did, like, up until we got so busy that it was like basically the only time we played was playtesting or at tournaments. That was my second favorite way to do it, right? Like, I played narrative campaigns basically constantly up until we started Frontline Gaming.
Yeah.
So they're really fun. They're really, really fun. It's obviously it's a different experience from a competitive game. It's like playing an RPG. It's like way more like big laughs, funny moments, like coming up with stories about your characters. It's really fun. So having rules to facilitate that just makes it easier.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And also, we're going to be getting some new terrain for 40K. There's a bunch of different products coming out. One of them is the Vertigus box set, and it's got all kinds of ruins and walls and barricades and all kinds of fun stuff. Plus, it comes with the 30 by 22 fold-out cardstock maps that you can put 4 of those together and make a full-size table. Pretty cool. And then obviously they have a nice image on it. So great way to get going or play Kill Team or something like that.
Yeah.
Really fun. And then exciting, most of us can't afford this, but it's baller. There is a brand new Warlord Titan variant that has like a super macro cannon on the top. I forgot what it's called.
Goofy looking knight.
I like it.
It's little arms though. It's like a T-Rex.
Clever girl.
Yeah. It's like, ah.
I think it looks freaking badass, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
The little arms just kill it for me. I don't know.
But the big cannon.
He's got the big shoulders though.
I don't think his arms are actually little. There's just a weird angle.
Is it? Okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, dude, that guy can military press all the way.
Oh yeah, dude, he does shoulder shrugs every day.
Dude, I thought I was pretty strong in college, like, because I used to lift weights all the time. And then I went into the gym and I was like working out with the guys on the rugby team.
Yeah.
And we had one guy on our team that for sure was juicing, which I'm sure helped. But he was repping 2 plates shoulder press, like straight up and down, repping it out sets of 10. I was like, what am I witnessing right now?
Yeah, I'm good.
I couldn't even do that once at the strongest I ever was, which I'm not obviously built for it, but that was like, I'll never forget that moment when I walked in and like playing college sports and I thought I was like Mr. Cool Guy and I was like, oh,
you're like, nope,
this is a whole different realm that I've just entered.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the new preview for the Necron Codex.
Ooh.
Exciting
Destroyer
stuff.
Colts.
Exciting stuff. So Frankie, tell us about Destroyer Colts.
Oh man, they're exciting. So much excitement.
But like really quickly though, in the chat, Corey Schultz says, I can see Frankie's also a shoulder man.
That's right, Corey.
I've lifted weights once since COVID.
Really?
Dude, I went into the gym.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, you know what? Wearing a mask in the gym, whatever, dude. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I went in, and then instantly I come in, and one person was refusing to wear a mask, and this other person was like screaming at him, and then I was just like, all right, I'm not coming back until this is over with.
You're like, nope.
I was like, I'll just go do some push-ups at home, man. That was not the vibe I want at the gym. Yeah.
But yeah, Destroyer Colts. So they've got all sorts of cool rules. They still have their reroll 1s to hit, which is really powerful.
It's super good, yeah.
Like we were talking about with the auras changing for a lot of the characters, this rule will help them out a ton.
So do the melee and the shooting version get it?
Yeah. So they talk about the melee version in here, and they have the reroll 1s to hit, which is really nice. I believe both of them get it though. So, and then there's another aura that they get that allows them to reroll 1s to wound, which is really nice. And that's
really?
Probably from one of the characters. And it's called United in Destruction, Reece.
Ooh, that's
exciting is
that's
that?
A movement I could get behind.
Yeah.
Like some people like to get together and do good things, like building, homes for the homeless,
Yeah.
But you know, United in Destruction.
Yep.
I think you got that as legs.
Exactly.
That idea.
But yeah, these are basically the rules that they had before, but you get to carry it over, and there's a lot more options for different destroyer units. So,
did we get any other fun stuff? Like, what about these Inimictic Exterminator?
Ooh, they show off the big...
Inimictic? What the hell?
It's the big guy. It's the big destroyer. Yeah, that guy.
That guy is beef supreme.
He is. He is beef cake.
Yeah, I like it. I'm into this.
So he has 2 different guns. One is 3d3, strength 7, AP 1 damage.
That's pretty good.
And then the other one is 3d3 damage, strength 10, AP 4, 1 shot. So pretty good. It's quite a big change for the destroyers.
3d3 damage. So, I like that. That's way better than like
1d6.
1d6 or even 2d6. Well, 2d6 you have a higher range. 2d6 is probably better. But 3d3 you can average 6 damage.
Yeah.
I like that. It's way more consistent.
Yep. It's only 1 shot, which is unfortunate. I think 2 shots would have been really good. And then the other variant, the Inimic, I think is how you pronounce it.
Inimictic Exterminator.
Yeah, maybe. I think that would have been 2 damage. I think that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's an anti-infantry weapon.
Yeah, it's a lot of shots, which is really nice.
An AP1, like, it's better than, you know, I know. Yeah. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh man, I'd almost rather have a heavy bolter.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially going up to damage too
with 3 shots. But this thing is gonna get 6 shots on average. Yeah, it's gonna be really good for killing like light infantry.
For sure, and it's blast, so that helps if you're playing against a horde. And it really comes down to what the points costs are.
Ooh,
on it, so.
Frankie, so you're telling me the 3d3 weapon against a unit of 10 or more will get a minimum of 3 shots no matter what I roll?
Right?
That blast rule.
Is that pretty good?
Woo!
Is that pretty good or what?
Woo-hoo. Good thing they gave it the blast rule.
Thankfully.
I mean, what would we have done otherwise?
Since it only has 3 shots anyways. It's pretty good. But it could have 9, Reese.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Steven Box from Vanguard Tactics in the chat says he's starting fit for 40K. Signing me up. Hey man,
there you go.
I used to be in really good shape, but
40 years ago,
I got the COVID 28.
Don't blame that on COVID.
Yeah. But no, good for you. And Steven obviously knows what he's doing. He was a fitness coach, or still is a fitness coach. So I think that's a great idea. A lot of people have tried it. I haven't seen it really get legs, but obviously in the gaming community, a lot of people have struggles with weight like I am right now compared to what I'm normally at. So I think that's that could really help a lot of people out.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a good idea. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So what's the destroyers in Crusade, baby?
Ooh.
The slow decay of the self. That's what I'm experiencing right now.
That's what it is. So it's that special rule that they've been giving to pretty much, they showed off for Space Marines as well. You get special Crusade Army benefits.
Oh, cool.
You spend the CP before.
So for Crusade narrative games, you basically can like level up and stuff.
Exactly. So you can buff up your characters, give them, what is it called? Battle honors. So you get extra points. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
To be honest, they didn't really show off a lot for the Necrons this week, so it's not super exciting.
Well, they sprinkled in some goodies in there.
A little bit.
It's like, you know.
But I'd rather them show off new stuff.
It's like corn. Yeah. Sometimes you find little surprise corn kernels.
There you go. And then they have another special rule, but they don't really explain what it is. They have Battle Scars, Mindless Reaper. One of them is you get rerolls to hit. One of them is you can only shoot the closest enemy model, or unit. And then one of them is you can only charge the closest enemy unit. So the last 2 don't sound great. The first one, however, reroll hits. That's just kind of block out the other 2, and you're in a good place.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And
so
they don't explain where those go or who's going to get them. So
you know what? It's a mystery.
It is.
You're just going to have to pre-order the new Crusade book for Necrons coming out next week, baby. Which you can get from Frontline Gaming at a discount. Or in the chat, Novastar87 says, this article is so funny. It says this is the first time we've seen the rules for the Locust, but the rules have been on the app for over 3 weeks. Well,
ta-da!
There you go, baby.
Surprise.
There you go. All right, so Frankie, lay it on me. What is tactical deployment?
This is the book everybody's been waiting for.
That you didn't know you needed or wanted.
So much excitement. The cool thing is there are new secondary missions in here. Cool. So that's really exciting.
All right. So wait, so first of all, what is it?
It's it's basically just a mission pack, right? And it also adds in some ways to actually play a game to where you get points to buy terrain.
Ooh, baby.
Isn't that exciting? That's
Is
pretty
it?
exciting. No, not really.
So wait, how does that work? You get to buy
you
buy
get to-
terrain like when you're deploying, like you're putting terrain on the table?
Yeah. So basically, when you go to an event or you play with one of your friends, depending on how big of a battle you're playing, you have a certain amount of terrain points. You can spend that on certain pieces of terrain that'll be in this book, and then you can put those on the table.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a interesting concept. We'll see how many people really use it and all that stuff, but they do add some cool rules for all the terrain that they're putting in there. They have little templates on what the footprint of the building's supposed to look like on the back, so that's pretty neat. Yeah, there's also new, like I was saying, secondaries and some new missions in there, which is really exciting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to the chat. Alvaro Seguro says, "Hey guys from Spain, love your podcast since I heard you all on La Voz de Horus podcast. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And for any of you out there that are Spanish speakers, maybe you're a native Spanish speaker, La Voz de Horus is a really popular Spanish language. Mariana is laying the pin pan down on my pronunciation. Is a really popular Spanish language podcast run by some great people over in Spain, and they're big event organizers in the Spanish meta as well. Yeah. So if you would like to hear about 40K in Spanish, check them out. They do a really good job.
Heck yeah. But there are some cool things. There's some secondaries to where you can kill your opponent's buildings and you get points for it. So some of the buildings you can actually interact with, do damage, and then of course you get special rules from a lot of the different buildings. So
the idea is that a player brings all the terrain for a table, or you come up to a tournament and you want to make sure that there's more terrain, so you can put some down, or do you put all of it down? Does it explain that?
Yeah, so the idea is the table's bare, nothing's on the table.
Ooh.
You show up with half the table, and guess who has the other half, Reece?
Your opponent?
That's right. That's right. So they put theirs down, you put yours down, and then you play a game.
That's how you know straight C's.
You don't want to depend on those tournament organizers to put down any terrain.
So this is an interesting idea, like players bringing terrain to an event. I think it could be really good for someone who is just starting a club, and maybe you don't have a bunch of terrain, so you're like, hey everybody, if we spread out the cost and the labor of getting the terrain, everybody bring enough for half of a table, cool, or for league night, I could totally see this working, right?
Yeah, it's a challenging thing. Like, what if your opponent doesn't bring any terrain? Then what happens?
What if they bring crappy terrain?
Or what if they don't finish building their terrain? Or what if they built it wrong? It's different. Like, it creates a lot of weird situations. I saw a lot of the chat was talking about, I think for narrative play and like people just playing at their house or whatever, I think it's great. I think it's really cool. Especially for narrative play, because you can kind of theme a table with all the special rules, all that stuff. So I think it's a really cool concept, and it might work for actual like tournaments or like RTTs and stuff. It'll be interesting to see it actually in use, and how many people are actually going to go out and buy all that terrain.
Well, this has come up before, right? Because there's some tournaments that do this.
Yeah. Like
there's a big Age of Sigmar tournament in England that does this, where each player is supposed to bring a table of terrain. Like, there's pros and cons, right? Like in Age of Sigmar, the terrain's not nearly as important, like how much and all that.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, like for a league, a club, even a game store, where you have the same people coming every week, I could totally see this working. At an event like the LVO, logistically, there's no way on Earth this would work. It's just too big. There's too many people.
Also, how do you carry all that terrain?
Do you leave it at the table?
No, you're supposed to bring it every round.
So you're supposed to take half of a table of terrain and all your stuff.
Yeah.
From table to table.
Your terrain gets mixed with other people's. Like, I don't know.
Well, the other part of it too is that, like, of course, like, okay, I'm playing Tyranids. Here's my half or whatever. You're playing some sort of melee army that doesn't want a lot of terrain, or does.
Just all walls.
Like I said it backwards. I'm playing a shooting army, and here's my half of the table of terrain. It's all 1 inch tall, like things that don't block line of sight, or it's all stuff that has huge windows and stuff in it. You know what I mean? So it's like in a tournament setting, gamers are going to game the system.
For sure.
Without question, 100%, they're going to take terrain that favors their army. and then they're guaranteed to have it on every single game.
Yeah, and we're not sure of what the restrictions are, or like maybe there's a chart and you have to bring a certain amount of certain pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what that'll look like. But yeah, if it's just merely like you pick whatever you want and you put it on the table, then yeah, that'll become problematic because you're like, oh, I'm playing Tau. Here's a bunch of little walls for you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's an interesting idea. It's in certain contexts, I could see it being really good.
Yeah.
I think for any big event, especially big events that already have terrain, there's no need for it.
No.
But like we said, for a league, for if you're just getting a new community going, maybe you're organizing, maybe you're in high school and you're organizing an after school game session, like club, maybe, something like that kind of a scenario.
Yeah.
Or maybe at your game store doesn't have terrain, but you want to have RTTs every week. You're like, hey, everybody, let's come together, make some cool terrain. Everybody bring some. That could totally work.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, for a league, I think this would be great.
Yeah.
Like, this would be really fun. It adds in like another little tactical depth to the game. Like, oh, what pieces of terrain am I going to bring this week, or what am I going to change? Like, so it adds cool things. The other downside to it, in my opinion, is just the tables will look
like crap.
very bad.
They're gonna look like
very mismatched. Like, even if
Yeah.
they're well painted, like half your buildings will look like this, half the buildings will look like that. It'll be weird.
Well, because I mean, imagine like you're playing on a snow mat,
Yeah.
and one guy has desert, like natural terrain with like rocks and stuff, and the other person has jungle themed buildings, and it's all mixed up on the table. It's gonna look hideous.
Yeah, it'll look pretty bad.
You know what I mean? So like, and some people don't care about that, but for me, the aesthetics of the game are like paramount, ultra important. And if you look at the tables of terrain that we've made for our events, at the LVO, which is the biggest event in the world, every single table is themed and painted nicely. Every single table, because it makes a better experience. And if you've got people just bringing random stuff, it's going to look like a hodgepodge. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And again, like we've said it like 10 times, if you're in a league or if you're playing with the same group of people, you can coordinate with each other. Like, hey man, I'm going to make half of the desert table, you make half the desert table, and then we'll come and we'll set it up and we'll just leave it. Right?
See, that's the thought, is you have to know what table you're going to be playing on, and you have to paint it to that table.
Yeah.
And you have to change it before every round. So there's little airbrush stations, so you can change up the color that your terrain is before you go on the snow table.
So I mean, it's a controversial idea. The internet's already going crazy about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's an idea that I think in the right context can be awesome.
Oh,
It can
for sure, yeah.
it can be really useful. I don't see a lot of like GT plus size events doing this. I absolutely could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like maybe in a regional event where the TO kind of knows everybody, and maybe it's like, hey, like, can some of the core crew all help out with terrain? That happens all the time anyway.
Yeah, we've borrowed terrain plenty of times.
Plenty of times.
And like you said, there have been quite a few tournaments where people have brought in their own tables. So.
Yeah. So it's an interesting idea. Let us know what you all think.
Yeah.
Like, do you think this sounds cool? Do you think it doesn't sound cool? Let us know. Like, talking to the other TOs, I kind of get the impression that those with terrain already are like, we don't really need to do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, that you could still use some of the missions and stuff in there from the pack. Like, you could still take the pack and maybe just apply some of the secondary missions and stuff like that to mix things up. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a bold idea. It's a little different than the way people are used to doing things, but
See
have
if
to
it
wait and
works
see.
out for them.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's a bold play, Cotton.
Yeah.
See if it works out. In the chat, what's up, everybody? Ed Rutherford.
Ooh.
I love that. My dad's middle name is Rutherford. Richard Rutherford Robbins.
Such a good name.
That's my father, and I'm Reece Richard Robbins. We don't deviate much from the R's
No.
in my family.
Stay on target.
We're glad you caught us live.
Yep.
I think ITC should do it for the LVO. I hear Reece will help us out and bring it all. Yeah, you're right. I will.
Yeah, there you go.
We already did.
We'll
Could you imagine the cluster F it would be to have 1,000 people all bringing terrain and all getting mixed up, broken?
Oh, I don't know.
Someone spills a beer on somebody's like prized
I
piece
can't
of terrain.
imagine it.
Oh, that would be chaos, dude.
I mean, I guess it's no different than us already having the terrain there. So you take our terrain out of the picture, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems weird, especially since you move your terrain from table to table. It just, I don't know. It just logistically, it doesn't sound like it'd work.
Yeah, I think I don't think this is an idea that scales up. I could absolutely be wrong because we haven't tried it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it scales up, but I think for the smaller scale, I think it's actually a cool
Maybe.
idea.
I don't know, still moving that much terrain every round just would. I guess it depends on how much terrain it really is. They don't describe it, so they say like this is roughly how many points you have. And here's a 40-point building. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because if you have some of those giant GW ruins, like that's a lot of stuff just to carry.
Yeah.
So hey, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Interested in getting everybody's opinions. Urgun Uluk in the chat. Heck yeah, I was channeling Cotton from ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
So yeah, that's exciting news. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Talk to us in the chat. Whatever. Send us a carrier pigeon. However you want to do it. But in other news, we are constantly, every week, we're adding new products to the FLG web cart so that we can offer more than just Games Workshop stuff and things we make. Because like most gamers, we play other games, and we want to make sure to offer those to you. So we just picked up an exciting new line. It's called Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings. It's a rank and file fantasy miniatures mass battle game.
Weird.
It's similar to the old Warhammer Fantasy or,
Kings of War.
Kings of War, that was it. Kind of similar to that. And then the aesthetic is similar to the Rune Wars, that game that was ill-fated, came out and kind of came and went really quick from Fantasy Flight Games.
Yeah.
But I say that because they have those bases where it's a circle base that goes in a square base. The miniatures are really good. They're not GW good, but I mean, who is? But they're really good. These are some of the better plastic multi-part models I've seen from any non-GW company.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I really like the setting. Like you have kind of the Renaissance human faction. You have the Nords, which are like Vikings, and they have like mythological Viking units like Jotnor, like giants and trolls and all this fun stuff. And then you have dwarves, which they're pretty run-of-the-mill dwarves, but they look really cool. And then the faction that I think is really neat is the Spires. They're kind of like interdimensional space elves that like grow cloned like warriors, and really, really creative and really cool. So if you're looking for a rank and file game to play, check it out. We're one of the few, to my knowledge, we're one of the few stores that's actually carrying this line at this time. Yeah. And you can get it at store.frontlinegaming.org. In the web cart, there's some starter boxes that you can pick up, very reasonably priced to give you everything you need to get going. So,
yeah, the models, like you were saying, just they look really cool. And it looks like a really fun game. It does, man. Like, there's a lot of people out there that still kind of have a hankering for rank and file, mass combat games. Yeah. So this company's new, but they've been coming out with stuff rapid fire. So check them out. We also added some other fun stuff into the web cart, including something I'm super excited about. The name is horrible. I've been nerding out on this so hard because I've never seen these before. They're called Warlock tiles. They're made for games like D&D, but they're really cool though. Like, I kind of bought the product. We didn't get a ton of it, so if you want some, I'd recommend getting it because we didn't know. I've never seen these, but they're plastic, fully painted dungeon tiles that are really, really cool. Like in the preview picture that you're seeing, it's like an inn, and it has all kinds of cool stuff. Like you can get like doors and chests and barrels and doohickeys and whatnots, chinguses and all kinds of crazy stuff. That sounds amazing. Tell me more. Yeah, I'm going to. There's tables, chairs. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and they're fully painted. They're really nice. They're PVC plastic, so they're not like, the ultra nice high impact hard plastic. Yeah. But for what it is, they're great. You literally open it up and you're ready to play. And for how much you get for the fact that it's fully painted, they're reasonably priced. I was geeking out on them when we got them. I'm like, these are so cool. Yeah. So for your next D&D campaign or whatever game you're playing, give them a look. They're ready to go out of the box. That is the really cool thing, is they are ready to rock. Yeah. Right out of the box. Because we've been playing a lot of like D&D and fantasy skirmish games and stuff like that. So I was like, man, we might just use these for ourselves. Yeah. They're pretty neat. Yeah, they're really cool. The scale's a little smaller than I would have liked. Scale's a little small. Yeah. But I think most of those dungeons are really small scale for some reason.
Well, D&D is
why.
played like on 1-inch squares.
Yeah.
So the miniatures are really small. Like as every other miniature based game, not that D&D is, but most people play with minis. They scale up to kind of like the 32 millimeter heroic because it looks way better. When you get a D&D mini, you're like, these are tiny.
Yeah.
So with that scale, they would fit perfectly on these.
Yep.
But if you're using like AOS minis when you play D&D like we do a lot, they kind of look like a little giantish, but
they're a little big.
Yeah. Ed Rutherford says, any chance FLG will be selling the 9th edition specific terrain sets?
I mean, we already sell terrain that works for 9th edition.
Yeah, we sell ITC terrain bundles that work perfectly fine. And then we are going to be repurposing all the bundles to have the option to come with a 44x60 mat, because a lot of people have asked for that. So, Tomodachi Express says, shout out to Pablo and his Eris. Thank you. Pretty good. Spencer Cohen says, you guys play D&D with real people in real life, not on Roll20? Yeah, we do. We play at work. We try to play once a week.
Yeah, we don't work. We play D&D.
Ooh, it's so funny when people think that we play games all day.
Well, I mean, you just told them that we play it at work.
After work, yeah.
Oh, after work.
But like a lot of people that have met us in real life are like, man, you have the coolest job. You guys just play games. And I'm like, I play less games since we started Frontline Gaming than I did ever before.
For sure, hands down, yeah.
Like, I was like, no, we work a ton on small margins in the gaming industry.
We sell games.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And then one of the benefits is that, yes, everyone that you work with likes gaming. So in the little bit of free time you have, it's easy to find someone that wants to play a tabletop game, play an RPG, play a video game. Yeah. And we all do as a company. Yep. It's one of the nicer things about working here. Other big news in the tabletop gaming world, the mighty Hero Quest is making a return. For those of you who are younger, or maybe you just haven't heard of it, Hero Quest is like it's a really special game. Came out long time ago, and it was sort of it was kind of like the first dungeon diver RPG light miniature based board game like this, to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but it was certainly the biggest, most popular one. And for many people my age, this was like the first game you played that got you into D&D, that got you into Games Workshop games. And so it's got a lot of nostalgia, and it really is a great game. It's super duper fun, and you've played it too, right?
Yeah, it's really fun, and like you said, it's a dungeon driver. It's a dungeon diver, so that's always a good time with your friends. I'm excited for it, and
I'm super excited.
Crazy on Kickstarter.
They did $1 million in the first day.
Yeah, they crushed it.
This is going to be the biggest tabletop Kickstarter. It's not on Kickstarter. It's on one of like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the biggest one of all time, like without question. That's 45 days to go, and they did $1 million on day one. That's nuts. I mean, good for them. Holy crap. Yeah. That's exciting. But Hero Quest is awesome. It's so fun. And it looks like they're staying really true to the original game. I think it's the same rules and everything.
Yeah.
Which is great because it's an awesome game. It looks like they made some changes.
Yeah, it looks like the cards have been updated.
And the minis are obviously modern minis. They're nicer. One of the things I really like, and I was talking about it, which I think is cool, and it's a very modern touch for the way gaming has evolved and changed over time, is one of the stretch goals is that you can get all the characters as female versions. So like you can have the barbarian as a dude or a girl, and vice versa. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Because then you just get more minis, more variety, and I think it's super, super fun.
I think it's great, especially with how many women are playing board games nowadays too.
Yeah,
it helps.
Because when this game came out, when I was a kid, man, finding anyone that even wanted to play these kind of games or knew what they were or didn't shove you in a locker because you were into it was a challenge. And things have changed so much. It's so much more inclusive now. I think that's awesome. And yeah, having some better representation, I think, is only a good thing. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, and the minis are dope. They're really good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just cool too because if you go back and look at the old Hero Quest minis, they're terrible, right?
They are really bad.
They were cool at the time,
yeah,
but they don't hold up. And now you look at the new versions of it, they're so awesome. Oh, and then also go watch the classic Hero Quest review. Oh, that video is so funny, from the guy's called like the Bard or something like that.
Yeah,
it's so funny. I love it.
Isn't there a Hero Quest movie?
I don't think so.
I'm thinking of something
I don't
else,
think so. They did make a movie about a dungeon diver video
Yeah.
game
Which one was
for the
it?
King. It was called For the King, and it was terrible.
Okay. Yeah, terrible.
I think Jason Statham is in
Yeah,
it.
I think he is. I think you're right. That movie is garbage. They made a second one.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them.
Lou Bangs, no one actually shoved me in a locker. Look at this stash. Do you think they could have? I had this stash when I was 12. I did not.
You did not.
But yeah, when I was a kid, if you were a gamer, it was like it's not like it is now. Like in the 80s and the 90s, if you were a gamer and you played like D&D and stuff, it wasn't something you wanted other people to know, usually because it was stigmatized.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't cool at all. And now it's like cool, which I think it's so awesome because it's been a relatively short period of time. It's been a big change.
Yeah. 100%.
Like even when you were in high school, it wasn't nearly as nerdy as it was when I was. Like
it was still pretty nerdy, but yeah.
Yeah, like now it's like you can totally like it's like cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like I read comics and played D&D and stuff, and I had to like hide them in my room, you know. Like,
Which on a side note, I can't believe you didn't put that in here. The Keanu Reeves
oh yeah,
comic book looks awesome.
it looks so
Yeah.
good.
It looks super cool, and it did $1 million as well. So
Good for him. I
Crushing
mean, Keanu Reeves, anything he touches is gold. Like, the
Yeah.
guy's such a cool dude. But yeah, he made a comic called Berserker.
yeah, I think it's Berserker, and
Yeah.
it's him.
It's him.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to get to the point in life where I can be like, I want to make a comic book with me as the star
Yeah.
and have other people think it's cool, not like, what a douche.
Yeah, what a jerk.
It's me and I'm super buff and I'm like punching monsters and stuff.
Well, I think somebody else approached him with the idea, but
Probably.
it's really cool.
But I mean, like, when you're that cool globally, everyone thinks you're so cool
Yeah.
that can be the premise of the story.
option,
Everybody's
yeah.
like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm into this.
That's when you made it. All right, let's talk about what's happened in the ITC. Of course, if you like the ITC, you want to support it, you want to see it continue to grow and thrive, consider supporting it financially via the ITC Patreon. You can do so for as little as $1 a month. At the higher levels, you can even get things like consultations where we can help talk to you about growing your event, all that kind of stuff. I was just talking to someone in Europe last week, brainstorming some ideas to help them navigate trying to run events during COVID and grow their event, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all the money goes back into the ITC to keep it going because it is very expensive to run it. Maybe not as much this year, but typically it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to go over the rankings as we say every week during the plague times. Be safe when you go to an event. Be mindful of it. Points aren't worth yours or somebody else's health.
Nope.
All right, let's look at 40K ITC competitive track top 10. Actually, just the top 5. Ken Knox continues to lead the pack. He displaced Vic VJ of the UK. Ooh. Snap, that was good. Followed by Ryan Snyder in third, Mark Hertel in fourth, and James Kelling in fifth.
Nice.
Hobby track, John Smith leading the pack. If his wife is named Pocahontas, that would just be too good. Wouldn't it be great?
That would be pretty good.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty good.
Mariana's outraged in the
Oh,
background.
jeez. Yeah.
It's just a funny joke. Colton Hatch is in second place. Scott Boucher in third. James Weston in fourth. And my man, Richard Kilton, in fifth.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar, our current top 5. We got Matt Beasley in first. William Sohali. I'll get it right eventually. In second, Jared Zizweta in third. Kurt Roper in fourth. Matthew Jones in fifth. Age of Sigmar, our current hobby track. Low-hanging fruit. Get out there.
Get out there.
Do 2 events. You're going to
Yeah.
be winning this whole thing. Russell Tanner in first. Matt Abbott in second. Dan Sanchez in third. Brian Bickle tied for fourth with Robert Snyder. Well done. Warhammer Underworld's top 5. Ivan Cho in first. Glenn Dean in second. Jonathan Colson in third. Cody Handler in fourth. Michael Melody in fifth.
On that note, it is really funny. When the game was first released, nobody knew what it was called. Was it Shadespire or was it Underworlds?
Yeah.
Or is it Age of Sigmar board card game?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
Exactly. I got corrected because I kept calling it Shadespire, but apparently that was just the first release.
That was the box or something.
It's
like
like in
that,
Magica. In Magic,
Magica.
in Magic, like there's the Ravnica deck, right? Apparently that's what it is.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
It's a Ravnica release. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
That shows you how much I know about Magic.
Yeah.
Kill Team current top 5. Rudy Pertu Tatanen in first place. Angel Alvarez Serrano in second. Manuel Melguizo in 3rd, John Sow in 4th, and Janice Gilham in 5th. Well done. And of course, if you like this podcast, check out the other podcasts on the Frontline Gaming Podcast Network. We got Art of War Down Under, where everything's backwards.
Art of War to the left and Art of War to the right.
To the left, to the left, to the right. Now
That'd
step,
be funny if all
babies.
the other podcasts were just Art of War.
Yeah, we should just all be Art of War something.
That'd be great.
We could be Art of War Central, Art of War Prime.
Ooh.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Stat Center, they're still struggling to get back onto a regular rhythm. Val just had a baby. Peter is somewhere in the north battling bears and just trying to survive. That's what it's like in northern Canada, I think. That's the impression that I get.
Yeah, it's a lot like Alaska, just less manly.
It's like if you took... That's going to go over well.
Take that, Dayton.
Oh, brother. And then, of course, 40K Today recap, where you can catch up what's going on there. Cool stuff. All right, let's answer some questions.
Mythos asks how he can convert his FLG mat down to 44x60. Well, next week, you can buy a conversion kit that does it for you. What?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and Corey Schultz, no, Mariana was upset because Pocahontas in real life was like 12. I was like, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Art of War 2, The Quickening. Ooh, I like it. Make a gif of my little dance. Please don't do that.
Too late.
I'm not a good dancer. Thanks for steering Zach B to the Exterminatus this weekend, says Lou Rollins. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
And we hope take our British friend, show him a good time. I know you guys
gentle.
will. I know you will. Never mind, Jamba agrees that Alaska is greater than Canada. This is the new Australia joke.
Uh-oh. That didn't go over so well last time.
And then we'll answer any more questions anybody has, and then we'll wrap it up. Kind of a short show today, but that's all right. What's the cutoff for LVO refund, says Alan Drell. So if you go to the Las Vegas Open website and just go to the refund policy, it's all laid out there. We're going to take care of everybody. Don't worry about it. If we can't do it because of COVID, you'll have 4 different options for what to do with your ticket money.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get taken care of. Don't sweat it. You can buy a ticket with confidence. You can turn it into store credit. You can apply it to the next year. There's all kinds of stuff. So
yeah.
Daniel Alstrom says, where I live, we use points instead of power level for Crusade and have extra house rules for keeping upgrades from stratagems used during the game.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And narrative gaming is where like that. Go house rule crazy. That is exactly what you should do. It's like playing D&D.
Yeah.
Just add stuff in, make stuff up, have fun.
Makes it more exciting for sure.
Nevermind Jama says, how long does it take to comb my mustache each morning? Not that long, actually. Not that long. It's not that bad. You do have to maintain it, though. Otherwise, it starts going all over. It looks terrible. Do you guys still doing buy of box and table terrain for 9th? Says Venom's Chosen. Yeah, you can go buy ITC terrain sets that come with a mat. And we are adding in the option to make it a 44x60. Previously, it was only 4x6. Gary Jentz says, please let LVO happen.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah,
we hope it's safe by then.
I feel pretty confident. I know personally people that have been told they're first responders that are getting given a vaccine next month, right? I don't know what that means. I'm not a doctor in terms of like, is it available? I don't know really what that means, but I know that they are like they've been told they are for sure getting issued it. I don't know if that's like a part of like stage 3 testing for one of the 3 vaccines that's out there right now. I don't know, but it makes me feel a little bit more hopeful and confident.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, we're not doctors, nor are we reporters, but that is what we have been told by firsthand. So we'll see. Lots of people talking about their Crusade house rules. Sounds like a lot of fun. Mac 10 Truck says, nice stash, dog. Hey, you got it.
Did Magnus do anything wrong? Yes, he did everything wrong.
Yeah. Why do you think Lehman Russ kicked his ass?
Yeah, he used the warp.
He didn't just do it because he's just being mean.
Eh.
You know what it was? Magnus is like, do you want to play D&D with me? He's like, in the locker you go.
Yeah, he's like, prepare.
Pulls his pants down first.
Magnus is like, no.
I'm so embarrassed. Chaos it is.
I just wanted to play Hero Quest.
He's in the locker, like a tear rolling down his face. He's like, Cowabunga it is. What do you mean you're not a doctor? Says Tomodachi Express. Yeah, I got an English degree at San Diego State. It's pretty good.
Basically a doctor in some countries.
I mean, I could tell you.
You could probably be a doctor in Canada, if we're being honest.
I could tell you some of the themes used in Shakespeare's some of his plays.
Ooh,
it's pretty good. Not quite.
Was Shakespeare a doctor?
In my heart, he's a doctor of the English language. In my heart and soul. Thoughts on the ITC team size conversation, says Tao Dog. Lots of dogs in the chat today. Yeah, so there was a conversation about a little bit of a controversy, hilariously, about teams, the way that teams work in the ITC. So the issue or the conversation was around the fact that really big teams can sort of game the system. Not obviously, that's not what we intended. Within the ITC right now. So if you go to Beast Coast is a perfect example, right? They've won the team tournament many times, or the team competition. Yeah. And they have like a gigantic team, and they have a lot of really, really good players on their team. And so that we've been incrementally, we've been toning it down. Like you can only get 10 scores from a team, and now each player can only contribute X number of scores. But it still gives you like somewhat of an unintended advantage. Like you can avoid playing each other at the first round of a tournament in some cases, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then gamers game the system. Like they're always going to do it, and you're silly if you think they're not going to.
Yeah.
So like people started doing it on purpose to get like some sort of a slight advantage. So now the idea within the ITC TO group on Facebook, which if you are a TO and you want to join that group, that's where a lot of the conversation happens. You should do so. The idea is that maybe a club can be any size, but a team at an event is limited to 10 players or whatever, right? I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Because then it's, you're not going to have like a gigantic advantage.
Yeah.
It's not a gigantic advantage anyway, but...
No, it's just you get more scores, which helps.
Yeah. Because then you could have like Beast Coast A team, Beast Coast B team, or, however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
Someone might get their feelings hurt if they're on the B team.
I'll go on the C team. That's where I'll go.
You could come up with some fun thematic names like this is Beast Coast Rogue Squadron.
Ooh,
something
that's
like
fancy.
That. I don't know.
Like
whatever, dude.
This is the Wizard.
Ooh, on Team Zero
Squadron.
Comp, it would be Team Zero Comp, the winners. Team Zero Comp, the chumps.
The chodes.
Our team.
I like that better.
On our team, that is the way it would go.
Yeah.
But everyone's team's different, has a different culture. Ours is very
different.
We joke around a lot on our team. So yeah, that was kind of the idea, is like make teams more fair. Because the whole reason we put it in there in the first place was to encourage people to form clubs. Because if you're in a club, proven every good player is in a club, right? So you're probably going to get better. You're more likely to go to an event because you have a group of people to travel with, to split expenses. You have friends to go to an event with. Like you don't have to worry like, oh, I don't know anybody. So having clubs and teams facilitates the competitive and casual event going community. That was why we did it. And then somehow gamers doing what they do managed to find a way to turn it to their advantage competitively, which should not be a surprise.
I know a few teams combined to form one massive team. So
yeah. Exactly.
There's some good ones in there.
Some of the
that
comments
will not be repeated.
We make some silly jokes on our team sometimes, but that was it in a nutshell. Let us know what you all think. But I think it's just something simple that we could do that would limit feelings that teams are taking advantage of the system when it's really not that big of an advantage, but
no, it's a slight advantage.
Yeah. All right, there's a lot of chode jokes now. I should have.
Good job. Killing it.
It slipped out.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed this rather immature episode of Signals from the Frontline. Make sure to go in there, get an FLG mat. They are back, baby. And of course, take a look at some of the other products we got on there, like Conquest and D&D, whatever it is, whatever gets your motor going,
Have a good one, everybody.
All right. Happy gaming. We'll see y'all next week.